You're going to total it up for your own knowledge so you know exactly where you are.
Jordan Belfort is known as the Wolf of Wall Street. But how did he get there? Jordan often speaks about how we can set goals to be successful. Always be goal-oriented, but beyond that, have a vision for the future. Make sure never to see things worse than they actually are, but to see them better than they actually are. It is when you envision the highest goals and follow through with these goals that you will become successful. Always manage your emotional state and realize that fear can break you, so you have to empower yourself to control how you're feeling. When setting your goals, make success a must. Failure is never an option. Jordan didn't start out successful. He started working on small projects, but by envisioning himself successful, he was able to grow a huge business.
Until your brain just clicks, and all of a sudden you're using the unconscious part of your mind, which is infinitely more powerful.
Uncertainty, fear, those things destroy you. We can't manage our state all the time. You're not a robot, but that skill, that in the moment when it matters, when it really comes down to it, can you manage your state? Or do you spend the bulk of your time in disempowered states, feeling overwhelmed, fearful of the future? Give yourself a 10 if you feel like that all the time, and a 1 if you never feel like that. And by the way, just so you know, the real problem, as you're writing, the real problem with this is that we live in a world, and excuse my French here, we live in a world where shit happens. At that point in time, you take that punch, that's when state management really matters. Because what most people do is when they take that punch, they try to make sense of it all, so they start telling themselves a story. They'll tell themselves a story of why they can have what they want, and so on and so forth. When in truth, what stops people from getting what they want is the bullshit story they tell themselves of why they can't have it. Because that story stops them from getting honest. This is about honesty, to see things as they are right now in your life, but not worse than they are.
And we've been brought up to think you got to be goal-oriented. That's the first mistake. Yes, you need goals, but there's something far beyond goals, which is what all successful people have, and that's a vision. It's a vision for the future. See, here's it is. You see things as they are, but not worse than they are, which is what a lot of people do. They say, oh, it's so terrible. They tell themselves this wild story about why they can't take action, and in truth, the story they tell themselves is exactly what holds them back from being successful. A story that stops them from acting. There's so much, the economy, and they play the blame game, they complain, they justify, and it stops them from moving forward. So see things as they are, not worse than they are, and then see them better than they are, and make them that way. Right? He survived hunger strikes and united a country, not because he had a goal for a free India, he had a vision of a free India. Nelson Mandela, all those years in jail, a vision. It's Richard Branson, who's a friend of mine, who I know he sponsors me, my speaking tour. He's like a visionary. Bill Gates, they're all visionaries.
I drag things out. I can tell stories. So I said, what can I say in 20 minutes that could really give them value? And because I want to kind of impart some wisdom on you guys, right? Because on some level, my life represents the best and the worst of what humanity can really offer. I want you to go into an idea and don't give yourself a way out. Make success a must. Make the consequences of failure in your life so dire and unthinkable you won't allow it to happen. An example, when Pizarro, the explorer, for those of you remember your ancient history back in the 1600s, right? 1500s. Pizarro, he went to the New World, and the first thing he did was what? He burned his ships. Why? He gave his sailors no choice but to hack out a new existence in the New World. What does a very smart general do? When a general wants to take over a city, does he surround the entire city and lay siege? If he does that, guess what happens? Every single soldier, every man, woman, and child will fight to the death, because they know is that if the city falls, the women get raped, the children get slaughtered, and it's over, right? Now close your eyes for a second and imagine where you're gonna be in 1 year from now. See yourself in the picture. 1 year from now, guys, I'm gonna be giving you some distinctions tonight that are really gonna help you make more money, but just see yourself with a great life, living the exact life you want, working your tail off and loving it. Follow this for a second. We're calling the same leads, selling the same stock, same script. I'm closing 50% or better, and after 4 weeks, 12 guys hadn't closed one sale. So what we need to learn to do is to focus on our vision. It was driving me batty. I couldn't understand it, right? So we would do these marathon training sessions. And just so you know, I'm a big believer in, like, I live every single day. When I'm running a sales force, every morning I'm in their ear giving a meeting. By the time they made it into the boardroom when I was starting, they'd been conditioned to survive.
Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.